Hey guys, so today for our quick little coaching, I want to talk a little bit about how much is enough when it comes to your health and fitness, because enough is a really double-edged sword. It has the ability to make you want to do your best, to always strive to be better, to always be reaching for the next best thing when it comes to your health and fitness. And it's great. It's always good to have something there to motivate and inspire you. But enough also has this nasty ability to be always out of reach. So you always feel like you are putting in all of this work and you are just not getting to where you want to be. And that can be really demoralizing. It can make you feel like, what's the point? I'm never going to get there, so why do I try? And of course, then we get stuck in these nasty, vicious cycles of feeling really guilty and feeling frustrated and never getting where we want to be. We never make that true forward progress. So let's talk a little bit about how much is enough. How do you figure that out? And first, I think you need to take a minute to get really, really clear on what does enough look like for you, for your health and your wellness. Because often we have a very nebulous idea of what enough is. We might have a very unrealistic expectation of what we can or should being in quotes here because I hate supposed to's, how much you should be doing. So you need to get clear first, really sit down and write out, what does enough look like for you when it comes to your health and your wellness and your fitness? Once you get clear on that, when you have it actually written out, that's going to give you a really awesome opportunity to decide if you're being realistic or not, if you're setting completely unrealistic expectations for yourself. And the way to kind of determine that is think about if your friend, one of your best friends, came to you and said, this is what their enough is. What would you say to them about that? Would you say, are you kidding? Are you insane? Do you really think that that's possible? Or think about what you're trying to make yourself do. Are you going to kill yourself trying to do this? Or are you going to make yourself completely miserable or maybe even jeopardize your health trying to make this happen? So really be honest with yourself about that. And then, this is the big tip today, start recognizing what you're already doing that meets that ideal. Because I guarantee that you're already doing a lot. Most people, when they think about what enough looks like for them, it makes them feel exhausted because on some level they know that they don't have the mental capacity, the physical capacity, the emotional capacity to push and push and push to meet those expectations. So if you look over your sheet, your paper, where you've written down what enough looks like to you and it makes you feel completely exhausted, then one, recognize that you are setting unrealistic expectations. But two, if you're feeling exhausted, that means that you're already expending a lot of energy to meet those expectations, which means that somewhere in all the things that you are doing something that meets that ideal. So it might not be getting you to the dream body you have or the dream lifestyle that you might have, but it's all in your perception. So take a minute, stop focusing on your failures and whether or not you're actually meeting those expectations, and turn your gaze onto all of the many things that you're already doing. What are you already spending your energy on? And in what ways are you already taking small steps that meet that expectation of what is enough? So when you start focusing in on that, you will start seeing that you are actually doing a lot of things that are enough. And you really just need to switch your perception around and start recognizing all the things that you are doing, because I promise too, when you start recognizing what you're doing, you'll start noticing that you actually have been making progress. You've just been so focused and fixated on this unrealistic dream, or maybe it is realistic, but it's an ideal and it is very far down the road from where you're at this moment. And so you want to be able to focus back on what you are already doing and how those steps are paving the way for you to achieve that ideal of enough. But you have to come back to where you are right now and what you are already doing and recognize all of the effort and the work that you're putting in right now. It's so important to recognize the effort and the work that you're putting in right now and track what you're doing so that each week you can look back and say, I took this step forward. I took this huge step, or maybe a little step towards reaching my ideal. And so I am actually doing enough right now. Because if you have those dreams that are maybe unrealistic for right now, but they could be perfectly realistic for you long term, but they are an ideal dream of what enough is, it's so easy to feel like you're not doing enough. It's easy to believe that you have to take this huge, massive action in order to make it happen sooner rather than later. But really, you just have to accept that it is a long game, and that you have to scale back your belief of what is enough for right now to match what you are physically, mentally, and emotionally capable of putting in for this week, and then track what you've done and believe that you will start making that progress towards your end goal of enough. So that's my big tip for today is, one, get clear on how much is enough. Get clear on what that looks like to you. Really flesh it out. And then start recognizing what you are already doing that is enough. And then start setting more realistic short-term expectations for yourself, and start recognizing when you've done enough for the week, because it's still taking you a step closer towards your end goal, your dream of enough. So let me know how that goes in the comments for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and take a little time today to celebrate what you have done already that is enough for you. And make sure you notice how it feels too, because it should feel pretty good, and you need to celebrate what you've done because you're already putting in a ton of work. So celebrate that, and I will see you all next week. Bye.